Okay, I've got the answers right here, but I'm also grabbing a blank one so we can do them together if we need to. I've had requests about the first couple pages were the hardest. So I am going to do this first page out. Instead of just looking at my answers, I'm going to actually do it with you. So I need your whole attention now. All right, we're looking at the diagram on the right. To write the polynomial that represents the area of the triangle. Who remembers, rectangle, excuse me, that's not a triangle. Can anybody tell me how to find the area of a rectangle? Length
times width.
Length times width. Okay, does anybody want to start off with how I should set up this equation for area? Go ahead. Jaden.
We're going to times x by x plus 2, so length times width.
Okay.
How?
How do you do it? The formula.
This is my width. This is my length. So I'm just multiplying them together. Now, anybody want to say what their answer was? Go ahead, Max.
I got 4x plus 4.
So you found the perimeter. So perimeter is when you add up all the sides. So you found their perimeter. Can somebody tell me what the area is? Go ahead.
I know the area is x times x plus 2.
Right, which is what?
X squared plus 2x.
Plus 2x, yes. Okay. So one of the most common mistakes on like the SAT, excuse me, I'm speaking right now. Excuse me. One of the most common mistakes on things like the SAT and things like that is people that get mixed up with perimeter and area. Can you hear me? You must not be because you're having private conversations while I'm talking.
One of the SATs, like sophomore.
Okay. It's junior. So most common mistake for when you take the SATs is getting perimeter and area mixed up. Remember, area you multiply, perimeter you add. Perimeter you walk around the perimeter. Area I want everything. Okay? So number 2, we're going to set it up the same way. All right? I want 2x times x plus 5. Here's the problem. I don't want this in the middle. How am I going to get rid of that in the middle? What is the area of the middle, first of all? 12, right? So the middle is 12 because it's 4 times 3. But I want to get rid of that. So when I want to take away something, I subtract. Okay, I'm still going to have to multiply out the 2x. And I get 2x squared plus 10x minus 12. Okay. All right, everybody okay with this?
Yeah.
Want me to go over it a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we see that this is our width and this is our length? And to find the area, we multiply them?
You can just take the shortest one, the one number answer, and put it in front of the length.
And then I want to take away the area of my middle. So I'm taking away 12.
Are you doing number 3?
Yes. Now I'm going to do number 3. Who would like to tell me how I'm going to set that up? Go ahead, Laura.
Okay.
Just try it.
I did this wrong.
Just tell me what you did.
I didn't look at the box.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So what am I supposed to do first? Am I adding, subtracting, multiplying?
Multiplying.
I'm multiplying. So I'm going to go 2x minus 1 times x plus 3. And when we have two binomials, when we're multiplying them together, we do the box method. Now you could totally do FOIL instead. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. And negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. So we're going to end up with 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Everybody feel good about that?
Yeah.
Remember, it's the width times the length, just to find area. Okay? Okay, and then we can do the box method, or you can FOIL. Yes, Caitlin.
Why is there an X outside the parentheses for 2x minus 1?
There isn't an X on
No, other side.
over here.
On the bottom.
Right. I
The
don't-
same problem we're doing.
Yes,
And
3.
on the width, is
Yes.
this parentheses 2x minus 1? No.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
a typo. This is
Okay.
because there was issues with the copy machine. That's all. Okay. We feel okay about these word problems now. We're just doing area.
So I'm gonna start calling people out by names if they give their phones out again while I'm going over the review when you have a test coming up. And this is nicely recorded, so when your parents complain to me that you're not doing well, I'll make sure to send them this recording.
Okay. Number 4. We're just gonna, I like to just use the distributive property. You could also do a 1x2 box like this. Either way is fine. Okay? And we're gonna get 3x cubed plus 5x squared, right? Yeah,
So that's all you're doing, just add up the
multiply add the exponents, yes. Okay? We're gonna do the same thing for b. Again, you can do a 1x2 box if you want. Negative 5k to the 6th plus 15k to the 5th, right?
Wait, to the 6.
Yeah,
Oh, you're just adding?
you're just adding the exponents. You're just adding.
I was multiplying the adding. How did you get 15?
Negative 5 times negative 3, positive 15
Oh,
times. Okay, let's turn the page.
I need help with 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like last time I got it wrong.
All right. So let's really talk about 5 and 6 really carefully. Remember, the biggest exponent goes first. So that's negative 3x to the 3rd. Then I do the next biggest exponent, that's x squared. Then the next biggest exponent, that's negative 6x. And then the next biggest exponent, that's 2. Right? Because 2 has nothing, that has 1, 2, and 3. Right? Okay. What's the degree?
3.
3, because it's the biggest degree. What's the leading coefficient? Negative 3. How are we feeling about that?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, should we do another one?
Yeah.
What do we get?
8 y
Yeah?
Plus
plus
26 y
26 y
Yeah?
plus 50.
Degree?
2.
Leading coefficient?
8.
Okay. You think you can do that? There's at least one of those on the test.
Now
Okay.
I just didn't know that you had.
I understand.
On the test, it's like 14.
That's not.
All right. All right. I need your attention. I am recording all of this. I need your attention in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I got a lot of people getting these mixed up. Remember, when you're adding polynomials, you add like terms. 3x squared and negative 4x squared have the same letter, the same exponent, so they go together. I get negative 1x squared.
You need to put the 1.
No. You just put the negative, but not the 1. There's no other x's, so 4x is by itself. And then 14 and 21 go together. So that's 35?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do the other one. I have, should we do it in standard form too as we go?
Yeah.
Let's try that. So which one has the biggest exponent?
5D.
3. So negative 5d to the 3rd and 8d to the 3rd gives me 3d to the 3rd. Okay, what comes after to the 3rd? We want the 2nd, so 2d to the 2nd, but there's nothing to add it to. Okay, and then we have 3d plus 6d is minus 1. 3d and then 6d gives me 90. No, not 90. 9D as in dot. Okay. Are we ready to do the subtraction ones? Those are a little bit harder.
Yes.
No.
Okay. We can do it. I'm going to do one way and one the other way. So I'm going to show you the two different ways. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm going to go 4a to the third minus a to the third is 3a to the third. Negative 2a minus a negative 2a is 0. 1 plus 3, 1 minus 3 is negative 2.
So it'd be 3
1 minus.
Yep. Now this is the way that I like to do it. I get confused. I make this a plus and then I change all the signs. And then I just add them together.
That's what I do.
2y squared plus y squared is 3y squared. Negative 4y plus 3y is negative 1y. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Does it matter which way you do it? No. It's the same thing, it's just whichever way works for you. So let's try this. I need you guys to close your mouths. And if you have a question, please raise your hand. Otherwise, all right. Yes, Kim.
Okay, so you did the one way for A, but for B the different way.
Yeah.
But you, like if you did it the other way,
You would have gotten the same answer.
but 2y minus.
A negative y squared is positive 3y.
I'll see that confused because it's that.
That's why I changed them. Okay, so when I asked you to be quiet and raise your hand if you have a question, and Caleb listens, as soon as he started talking, you guys started talking. It's really rude. Back it up. Do we have another question about those before I move on? Yes, Megan. Right, you only change the one that's furthest to the right. Okay, number 9. Again, I like to just distribute. You can totally make a 1 by 3 box. You're going to multiply this out. So we get 3x to the third plus 5x squared plus 2x.
Same thing as the front?
Same thing with b. Are these repeated twice?
Yep.
All right, we'll just do it twice then. We get negative 5k to the 6th plus 15k to the 5th plus 40k to the 3rd.
What
The front.
the first two?
The 4 and 5 are almost the same. Okay. 10. This is my favorite. I like to do the box. You don't have to do it this way. You can do FOIL. Y and 2, y and negative 7. Does it matter which one I put on the side, which one I put on top?
No.
Y times y is y squared. Y times negative 7 is negative 7y. Y times 2 is 2y. And 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. So I get y squared minus 5y minus 14. Okay? I'm going to do the next one by foiling because I never do it that way, and some of you like it. I get 4r squared plus 8r minus 9r minus 18. So that's 4r squared minus r minus 18. Good. Turn it over. Okay. I had some of you thrown by this 8m plus 3 squared. Remember, it's just 2 of them. All it means is one is 8m and 3, and the other one is 8m and 3. So you should just get 64m squared. 8 times 3 is 24m. 8 times 3 is 24m. And 3 times 3 is 9. So we should get 64m squared plus 48m plus 9. So we've talked about this before too. Remember that it is like ax squared plus 2ac plus c squared kind of a thing. So we could just say this is 25y squared. 5 times 6 is 30, so this should be negative 60y plus 36. It's a special one, so we don't even have to do a box R foiling because it's the thing squared. Number E, do you see how they're the same thing except one has a plus and one has a minus?
Yes.
So I just know it's x squared minus 9. Right?
Wouldn't that be negative 70y?
30 plus 30 is 60.
It's 35. Oh, okay.
Would you mark this
Well, like,
wrong?
5 times 6 is 30. Should I do D the long way?
No.
So I've got 5y minus 6, 5y minus 6, get 25y squared minus 30y minus 30y plus 36. Good? See how I got negative 60 in the middle? Okay. Number F is 49y squared minus 81, right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to do it out?
No.
Yes.
Yes?
No, it's okay, I got it.
We got it?
I mean, if you
Yeah, you could do the box way. You don't have to do it this way. But it's just a shortcut.
Pardon for the interruption. Attention all staff. At this time, could you please dismiss the boys freshman basketball team to meet their bus at the West End pool doors? Once again, please dismiss the boys freshman basketball team to meet their bus at the West End pool doors. Thank you.
Remember, I'm recording this, guys, so it'll be up on the website. Make sure you check your answers. Okay, number 11, we're going to take out the greatest common factor. So I'm going to take out a 6x. And I'm left with 2x squared minus x plus 4.
So you just take 6 out of everything?
6 and an x out of everything. Divide everything by 6. Get rid of an x for everything.
I didn't do it. I did
Okay, it says take out the greatest common factor, though.
I didn't read the directions.
Well, that is a problem. All right, what's the biggest number that goes into 28 and 49? Okay. M squared and m to the third, I can take out an m squared. Y to the 8th and y to the 4th, I can take out a y to the 4th, right? So I'm left with 4y to the 4th minus 7m.
Wait, so like, would you take the greatest?
Can you, like, do that? Take the lowest.
I did. That's how you do
Oh,
it.
that's how you do it?
Yeah.
But
So what I did is I said, okay, they're both divisible by 7. So I divided this one by 7 and this one by 7. That gave me 4 and negative 7.
I mean, why did you take out m squared?
Because that is the smallest amount of m's I can take out of both.
Oh, so you take the smallest one.
Yeah, because then you'd have negative m for this one if you took away 3 and you can't have that. Okay? All right, for this one I'm going to factor out the greatest common monomial. What goes into 9 and 18 evenly?
9x.
9x squared. So 9 times what gives me 9x squared? 1. 9x squared times what gives me negative 18x to the third?
2.
Negative 2x. Good. What goes into 21 and 35 evenly? 7. And then we can take out an a and a c out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm left with what?
7, 3c plus 5.
All right. It would be AC because I can take out an A out of both of them. And then we only have a C left because that had a C squared. Okay, let's do number 13. Let's factor. I'm going to make my box. I'm going to make this W squared. I'm going to make this 14. Okay. Each of these are W. What two numbers multiply to give us 14 that add to give us 15? 14 and 1, right? So I get 14W and 1W that adds to be 15. Okay, so W plus 14 times W plus 1. You will not, I have somebody do this every time. You will not get full credit unless you rewrite it like this in parentheses. Okay. B, Guess what? B was also your warm-up today.
I knew I saw it somewhere.
So we have M and M. What two numbers multiply to give us negative 12 that add to give us negative 1? Negative 4 and positive 3. So that's M plus 3 times M minus 4. Okay, let's turn it over so we can do the back. Yep.
Oh, wait,
Yes.
so is there like, okay, so if you can do, so W squared times 14,
Mhm.
which would be
Alright, go ahead.
1, well, which would be 14.
Mhm.
And, but in order to get 15, you could do 1 and 14, so you get 14 still, but when you add it, it'd be 15.
Yeah.
And then you just use that, and you can do W plus 1,
Yeah.
and then W plus 14, and you get the answer.
Yes.
That's the other way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Put the glasses on.
Okay. So, for C, I have a number in front. So I'm going to do it our way. Is there any number that goes into both 2, 5, and negative 3? No. Not besides 1.
I just did the box.
So I'm going to go 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. What two numbers multiply to give us negative 6 that add together to give us 5?
6 minus
So we've got,
negative 6 and 1.
got positive 6 and negative 1.
Yeah.
Okay? So then we'll have 2k plus 6 and 2k minus 1. And then we're going to divide by the greatest common factor. What's the biggest number that goes into 2 and 6? 2. So we're left with k plus 3 times 2k minus 1.
You showed us so many
Yeah.
different ways.
I know. It's in whichever way works for you. So if we're like this, and we're in the box, we're just simply going to have one of them be 2k and one of them be k. And then what number do we need to multiply by? We know it's got to be 1 and 3. We just have to figure out which one we've got to multiply by 2. Well, it's got to be 3 so I can get 6. So I've got 3 here and 1 here. Now, which one has to be negative? It has to be negative 1. Because I want a positive 5. Okay? D. we don't have a ton of time left, so I'm just going to show you guys the answers. And I'll do the ones that you
Well,
want me
wait,
to.
could you just do 14?
Definitely E.
Hold on. I'm just going to show you the answers, and then the ones you want me to do, I will do. Okay? So let me just read them, the rest of the page, and then I'll do them. D is 3f plus 1 times f minus 7. 3f plus 1 times f minus 7. E is 4y plus 3 times 2y plus 5. 4y plus 3 times 2y plus 5. F, we took out a negative 1 first. It made life way easier. So it's negative 1 times 2n plus 5 times n plus 1. Negative 1 times 2n plus 5 times n plus 1. A is x minus 9 times x plus 9. X minus 9 times x plus 9. 14b is h plus 7 times h plus 7, or you could just say h plus 7 squared. C is 3y minus 11 times 3y plus 11. 3y minus 11 times 3y plus 11. D is 8m minus 1 squared. 8m minus 1 squared. E is d plus 5 squared. D plus 5 squared. F is 2 minus y times 2 plus y. 2 minus y times 2 plus y. G is 5y minus 6 times 5y plus 6. 5y minus 6 times 5y plus 6. And H is 3x minus 2 squared. 3x minus 2 squared. If you want me to do one, let me know. Yes?
E.
E.
Top of page.
Okay. So for E, I multiplied 8 times 15. That gives me 120. And then I said, okay, what two numbers multiply to give us 120 that add to give us 26? 6 and 20. So then remember, I put 8 for both of them, so I have 8y for both of them.
What made you multiply 8 and 15?
Because I was like, when I did my box, I was like, there are so many options. Okay, there's 1 and 15, there's 3 and 5, and then for 8, there's 1 and 8, there's 2 and 4. Which ones do I multiply by which? That was confusing. So my other way is to multiply them together, get 120. What numbers multiply to give us 120? 6 and 20. That add up to 26. Okay? So then I have 8y plus 6 and 8y plus 20, and then I divide them by the greatest common factor. What goes into 8 and 6 evenly? 2. That gives me 4y plus 3. What goes into 8 and 20 evenly? 4. So that gives me 2y plus 5.
Because I did it the normal way, that like for like
Yeah.
C and D, and like I found that there, nothing goes into 26. That also.
So it does. So if I go 4y times 5 is 20y, right?
I mean, like the original problem.
3 times, yep, this is the original problem. 3 times 2 is 6y, right? And 3 times 5 is 15. So this gives me 26, this gives me 15. So eventually you would find that you have to multiply the 4 times the 5 and the 3 by the 2, and you would get your answer.
Is there a problem on test where we have to do it?
There's one, it's not that hard, but there's like that.
Oh,
Any others that you would like me to do? Yes, Grace. 14G. Okay. It's 5y minus 6 and 5y plus 6. 25 is a perfect square, so I knew that was 5y and 5y. 36 is a perfect square, so I knew that was 6 and 6. One positive, one negative. You don't have a middle number.
It's 36.
Jamie.
So for F, I did it like opposite because like I like switched them around, so like I
That's
flipped them. So, but like I got like y minus 2 and y plus 2.
Yeah, you just would have to, if you go like this, you just then have to take a negative out
Okay.
before you do it.
But I
Because that negative goes with the y squared.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Any others? Okay.
That's